Hey, and welcome to the online studio for Pilates Cure. Today we're going to be breaking down the inverted flyer move that is found in our foundation program. It's kind of a challenging move that requires a lot of balance, so we're going to take it down and really break it down together. So I want you to grab a mat. I prefer you be barefoot. If you don't feel comfortable barefoot, very minimal tennis shoes without a lot of cushion or out a lifted heel would be best. Thick running shoes or shoes that have a lifted heel at all is not going to be optimal for your balance to get the muscles in your feet to fire off the way they should. So we're just going to start standing with your feet both facing straight ahead, legs straight ahead, and just rocking toe ball heel to kind of wake up the muscles in our feet and start to feel where our weight distribution goes. Then I want you to pause, and I just want you to stand firmly on your feet. Think of your chest lifted. Think of your powerhouse turning on. So your quad muscles are pulling your kneecaps up. Your hamstrings are ever so slightly engaged. Think of pulling your tailbone down. Your rib bones are drawing inward. And you're breathing 360 degrees. So you're not just breathing into the belly, but you are breathing into the full circumference of your rib cage, because our lungs take up the full circumference of our rib cage. So we need to use all of our lungs. We need to use all of our ribs. As we are standing here, I want you to just pay attention and ask yourself, do my toes feel crammed together, or do they feel like they can spread out? Try to gently just spread them out. Like, don't force them apart, but just let them find their own space. Do you feel evenly weighted from your left foot to your right foot? If not, see if you can balance that out. It's very common to have one leg that's a little bit more dominant. Do you feel as if you have even weight across all 10 toes? Or do you notice that you roll out to both sets of pinkies, or maybe you roll into the inner arches? Find your tendency, begin to learn your tendency and start to rebalance your feet so you feel more even between all 10 toes. And then do you feel on each foot that you're evenly weighted from the toe, the front of the foot, to the heel, the back of the foot? Sometimes you hear this called like a tripod setting, like you've got 3 points in the feet. You want to make sure that you are evenly balanced on those 3 points. And that tripod positioning would be big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Now, as we're standing here, that's kind of our goal. We're even front to back, we're even left to right. We're even across all 10 toes, and all 10 toes have their own space. And then we're going to start to shift your weight forward towards the toes, not enough to let the heel lift. And then you're going to shift your weight back towards the heels, and again, not enough to let your toes lift. But as you do this shifting, notice what muscles are firing off. Notice what you feel in your body. So for me, as I shift forward, I feel my core light up. I feel the fronts of my leg light up, my toes, the bottom of my feet. As I shift back, I still feel that core, deeply into the core actually. I feel the back of my leg. You might feel things a little bit differently, but I just want you to start to question and explore and notice the information your body's giving you. Now from here, I want you to find about a 60-40 split. So you have about 60% of your total body weight onto the front of the feet and about 40% into the heels. And from there, we're just gonna lift the heels and then lower down, trying not to shift back. Lift the heels and then lower down, trying not to shift back. And I can actually feel my powerhouse working as I place my hands on my belly. And we're warming up through the ankle, we're warming up through the feet, we're getting the body connected, you're connecting into your powerhouse. All right, we're gonna do one more. If you're finding this hard, I want you to go back and redo just this front half of the video where you work on awareness of where your weight is positioned and awareness of how to lift up and lower down. And what I don't wanna see is this. I don't wanna see you lift up and then lower down, right? Your body should stay pretty quiet is the word we use, pretty still as you lift and lower. And there's definitely not that fall back because you're not putting more than 40% of the weight on your heels. Okay, enough of that. We're gonna start working onto the flyer. I'm gonna turn just a little bit of an angle. And I want you to shift your weight to your left leg without completely dumping into that left hip. I don't wanna see a lot of weight shift happening, but we just need to start to free up your right leg so we can lift the toe. And then as you lift the toe, you're gonna hinge forward, tap, and then tap back. hinge forward, tap, and then tap back. As you move, your gaze moves with you, so your eyes move with you. And we're just tapping and tap back. Now you will notice my left leg is slightly bent, and it is slightly bent because I want it really, really active. And you can also notice my ankle is wiggling and wobbling. It is not necessarily an easy move. We have 3 more. And 2. Last one here. And we're gonna come back in. Now, if you compare how does your left leg feel to how does your right leg feel, my left leg feels a lot tired right now, my ankle and foot in particular. It feels warm, it feels tired, it just worked. All right, we're gonna do the other side. So we're gonna start to shift our weight just enough that we can lift the heel, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We just tap and come back up, and tap and come back up. Same little slight bend to the right side. Woo! It's okay if you lose your balance. I will lose it some too. Powerhouse is drawn in, so we're active through the core the whole time. All right, we have 3 and 2. Last one here. And we'll come back in. And then relax. So now both ankles feel nice and warm, right? So we feel really good to go. Now we're just gonna practice lifting that leg up and down. Exhale, draw the navel in, lift, and down. Exhale, lift, and down. Exhale, lift, and down. We have 3. And I want you to think of not making a puddle, a splash, a ripple in the puddle. I think we've got one more. We're gonna do one more. But think of not making a ripple in your puddle as you place that leg down. We're gonna practice the same thing on our other foot. So we're gonna shift our weight ever so slightly, just enough we can lift the foot, and we gently place it down. As we place it down, we're trying not to make a ripple in the puddle that we're stepping in, and we're not really shifting our weight back to that left leg ever. Our right leg is our tree trunk. Our right leg is our stabilizer. Exhale as we come up, inhale as we gently go back down. We have 2 more, and last one. All right, if those 2 moves were hard for you, pause the video, start it over, or pause the video and tomorrow do that first part of the video again. If you're still wanting to keep going, we're gonna kind of add it together a little bit. So we're gonna lift, and we are gonna reach. And then we are gonna lift, ooh, wobbly. And then we are gonna reach. And we lift, and we reach. One more time, we're gonna lift. Can you see my ankle working? And we lift, reach. And then we come down. It's okay if it's wiggly and wobbly and unstable. This is a hard move. And if you're on a thick mat like this, it's gonna give you a little more proprioception work. So it's gonna be a little harder than if you were just on a flat floor. So don't be dismayed, don't worry if you got a little wiggle. I do too, it's okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna lift, and we're gonna reach. Woo, and we're gonna lift, and we're gonna reach. And we have 4. And we exhale, draw the navel in, reach. And we have 3. And we all have one side that is better than the other. Last 2. Last one. And there you go. There's 3 ways to progress that movement. Now, in the Foundations program, you will have some more detail on exactly what to be doing with your foot as you're reaching that leg out and this and that. But the detail of all that's in Foundation. What I wanted you to get here today is 3 ways to progress that movement and to not be scared of that movement. If there's wiggle and wobble, that's the point, right? We're challenging that single leg balance. We're challenging the proprioception. So thank you for joining us. If you want to learn more, check out our Foundations program, check out our live stream options and our on-demand options. I am Andrea Nichols. I am so glad you're here, and let's do life big.